me share this? How do I share this, bro? Aha. 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 I need to get my food, my phone charger. Um, I think I need to put some chicken and some buttermilk so I can fry it. I want to go dancing, but I'm not. I'm here with y'all. Me, myself, and I, all three of us. We are here. We are talking shit to these MAGA cucks. And why? Because we need them to go back into the hole that they crawled out of and let us take care of things. Because they don't know how to raise no kids. They don't know how to raise, love your neighbor. They don't know how to make a better world for everyone. They make a better world for them and theirs. They're not making a better world for everyone, and we want a better world for everyone. It's pretty fucking simple. It's not that complicated. Lots of countries figured it out. Um, and we just need to step the fuck up. All right? So here we are. Man, I think it's been a while since I did 2 days in a row of streaming, but yeah, let's fucking get to it. Mitch McConnell's old as fuck, anyways, having literal brain farts on live on television. He was gonna retire. This was gonna be his last year. Um, they've been saying he's not dead, and the reason they're saying he's not dead is because then they would have to hold a special election, I guess, if he doesn't die before like August 3rd, something along those lines. But yeah, they're hiding the fact that he's dead. Uh, but I mean, you can't. You can only weekend at Bernie's for so long. You can only weekend at Bernie's for so long. You can only post fake AI photos for so long. You know what I'm saying?
Anything had been put out, not even an official statement from Senator McConnell. In fact, I'd gotten 2 calls from different agencies, not state agencies, suggesting he'd passed.
All right, everybody. Senator Mitch McConnell of Kentucky has been in the hospital for 30 days now, and all we've received is one proof of life photo and one statement from his team that doesn't address the core problems of his age and lack of ability to do the job. Can I just point out, Senator Mitch McConnell is currently taking advantage of the same sort of paid leave and sick leave that he has shot down.
And healthcare. We pay for their healthcare. They have the best healthcare. They got Medicare. They don't have a deductible and shit like that. They go to the hospital, they don't get a fucking bill. Okay? Granted, he's old as fuck anyways, so he would be on Medicare, but yeah, like JD Vance, let's see who's younger. I don't know how old Thomas Massey is, but he gets free healthcare. Like they all get fucking. It's not free health. We pay for their healthcare, but we can't pay for our neighbors' healthcare. Fuck, that's crazy.
For Americans throughout his entire political career, saying that Americans don't deserve extended sick leave or paid leave in any manner, and now he is very much so capitalizing on that exact same infrastructure. But beyond that, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear went on to Katie Couric's podcast today and was giving some deeper insights into what actually went down over the past 30 days. According to Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, he got calls from multiple agencies suggesting that Mitch McConnell had passed a few weeks back, and now that we have the proof of life, he's clearly still alive in some manner. But the question is, how alive is he? I don't mean to be blunt or crude or anything like that, but we're getting more details that suggest that the original phone call from Mitch McConnell's house was for cardiac arrest. He also seems to be suffering from...
So, I mean, technically, if you have cardiac arrest, your heart's not beating anymore. Okay, so at some point or another, he was dead, and they brought him back to life. Thankfully, because of our fucking medical emergency staff, I guess thankfully, but yeah, term limits for these old fucks. We don't need people dying in office. Like, bro, go retire. Well, it is like a fucking retired job, bro. They work like 3 days out of the whole fucking month. Fucking they take off whenever they want. They don't have to vote every vote. Like, they have a great job. Low key, they have great health care. They got paid fucking leave. And even if they don't have paid leave, they go out of session whenever they don't want to fucking do anything. Oh my god. Didn't they take like 4 months off during the summer? Or right when they got into Congress? Like, fucking hell, bro. You want your kids to have a job where they don't have to do a lot of work? Fucking wrong for Congress.
Some sort of dementia where he sits there and stares off into the distance, and then they updated and said it was actually mild pneumonia that he was struggling with. But I don't know, if you're over 80 years old, there is really no such thing as mild pneumonia. You just have bad pneumonia if you are 80-something years old and you have multiple health issues accumulating at the same time. So Senator Mitch McConnell is not in a good state, and we will show this in just one moment. But I want you to think about the broader context surrounding this and surrounding the cold, hard Senate math. So Senator Lindsey Graham died about a week ago, and I'm never ever gonna disrespect somebody or dance on their grave after they pass away, but if you look at...
I will. Fuck that bloodthirsty motherfucker. So many people have died because of what he promoted. He's just an evil fuck, and to be so anti-LGBTQ, but then to be closeted gay man, like, y'all, those men are just lucky that other gay men have more integrity than them. Because if I was gay and some older Republican was paying me to pee on them, I would be like, this man fucking pays me to pee on him. I would be on the front page of the news. This man right here, Lindsey Graham, pays me to pee on him. Pays me a lot.
The cold hard Senate math. Republicans are down one senator there. They are really struggling to hang on with Mitch McConnell. Donald Trump's response, while his health is crumbling on its own, his response was to try to invalidate the election of two Democratic senators, John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock, by, saying that there was election fraud throughout the country and in Georgia. So Donald Trump's two Republican senators that are hanging on by a thread, he's trying to punch back by, invalidating Democratic senators. This is absolutely despicable, cynical, and I'm so glad that we have leaders out there pushing back against this BS. People like Senator John Ossoff, who has been holding the line while Markwayne Mullin lies about our elections. Let me start with this clip of Markwayne Mullin that is going viral, where he says that the DHS is going to be purging voter rolls. This is pure dictator mode. Listen to this.
The problem, everybody should be informed. Working with Secretary Lutnick.
Bro, I don't believe his accent for one fucking minute. Like, he's trying so hard to be like uh 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 colloquial, or yeah, I'm just a good old boy and I'm taking care of business. I'm making sure all my ICE officers are ready to shoot the immigrants. Like fuck you, bro. We know those. You a rhinestone ass cowboy, fucking all hat and no cattle, motherfucker. God damn.
We are going to
He's a fucking plumber. He's a fucking plumber. He never worked on a fucking ranch.
make our security enhancements mandatory.
See. I told you. He comes back and are mandatory. He go from talking like this to are mandatory.
Meaning that if these states want a grant and they want to be reimbursed to work or to run federal elections, they're going to have to implement security issues.
Security.
Just security.
Tough light security of the world, Craig.
But we're saying that the machines have to be secured and that your voter registration list needs to be scrubbed. We need to make sure that individuals that are legally able to vote are voting.
What do you mean you're going to scrub the voter registration list?
He means if they think you are an illegal immigrant who has registered to vote, they are going to kick you off the registry. You're going to have to re-register. My friend Kirsten had this exact thing happen to her. I think they purged like 1 million people off of the voter records here in Texas. Let's see how many people. How many people did they purge from Texas voter rolls? Texas announced charged to 3 years following the signing of state election. Blah 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 blah. Google the AI is getting real Trumpy when you ask these fucking questions. Notice that they didn't give me a fucking number. How many voters were purged from Texas voter rolls 2020 to 2025? 1.1 million. I had to be direct with the bitch. I had to be direct with this Gemini hoe. 1.1 million voters were removed from the state's roll during a multi-year process between 2021 and 2024. My friend Kirsten's voting was she's one of those people, cause her name Kirsten Sanchez, fucking Mexican as fuck. Easy to, yeah, she Mexican. We gotta kick her off and make her re-register to vote. You know what I'm saying?
This is the new Kristi Noem, by the way. Kristi Noem was our former DHS secretary. Markwayne Mullen has now taken that position and is somehow even less charismatic and less convincing on camera when he's lying for Donald Trump. Let me show you the refreshing Senator John Ossoff of Georgia, who was pushing back against this BS.
How did you do it? How did you figure out what Donald Trump was going to say tonight?
Lawrence, thank you for having me. And tonight I heard a failed president desperately casting about for excuses to meddle in the upcoming election if he can, or to discredit the result when he loses decisively, as I expect he will. I heard a president who, as war spirals and as prices keep climbing for families across the country, is, as always, focused on his personal grievances,
focused on his personal shame and humiliation, and above all, focused on his personal fear of the accountability that will come when we win this fall. But this is important, folks, and I want you to hear me out when I say this, because I also heard a president clearly signaling his intent to attack these elections and to undermine vote.
Telling you all, November. No fucking Vember. Alright, let's go on to the flood stuff.
To hear stories of survival from people who live along the Guadalupe River. And one of those stories is from Center Point.
And that's where we find KXAN's Brianna Hollis live for us this evening. So, Bree, you spoke with the owner of an RV resort?
I did, and we're at that RV park right now, the Guadalupe Keys RV resort. And when the floods tore through last year, they swept away every single thing on this property, literally everything.
Oh wow, look at it. You got RVs, truck, trailer. Damn, bro. How are we paying for a war in the Middle East, but we can't pay to protect a fucking RV park? Like, protecting an RV park, probably not top priority on the list. No, probably not. No, but protecting the RV park or war with Iran, like I think we should pay all the money that we spent protecting all the money we spent for Iran, we should be using to protect the RV park. I don't want people's RVs to flood away and flip upside down and end up in a fucking river. If I'm gonna pay fucking taxes, I want those taxes to protect people's RVs and trucks so they don't end up in the fucking river. Is that so much to ask for? Fuck it hell.
Up with these business owners over the past year, talking about how much they were able to rebuild and all the work that they were putting into this. And now it's really, and they said this too, it's all for naught because the floods came back once again, destroying absolutely everything. One of the owners, Drew Yancey, he also lives on this property. That is his truck there in the riverbank. Windows are blown out. There's a foot of mud in the back seat. It's totaled. And that white you can see in the tree back there, that is
Honey, we
his
see
mobile home. So he once again lost absolutely everything except his life. And he told us what it was like escaping yesterday.
By the time I opened the front door and stepped out, it was up to my chest.
Sir, I am so sorry that our government is choosing to spend billions of dollars on a war with Iran in the Middle East instead of protecting your RV and your truck. I sincerely apologize for that. I'm gonna need your help though. I'm gonna need your help. We need to vote out every fucker who decided that a war was more important than protecting your RV and your truck from ending up in a river. Okay? You're gonna need to help me out with that. All right, Mr. Centerpoint business owner.
And I grabbed the dog and girlfriend and the bag. We're gone.
Drew Yancey relived one of the worst days.
And you should have had a lot more time to prepare to leave. If your sirens were working and we had an early alert system in place, then it would have been better, sir.
Days of his life, something he didn't believe could happen again.
I feel a little lost. There's no doubt about it.
No,
A little hard to sleep.
On Thursday, he, his girlfriend, and his dog Star pushed through rising floodwaters to safety. On Friday,
It can get sticky down here.
he trudged through the muddy banks to get a closer look at his truck.
In the truck? I didn't see it till last night. It was carried, it was covered up. We didn't see it. I knew it was down here somewhere.
And not too far in the distance, his trailer.
I don't know. I've lost everything this time.
This is what some of the damage looked like right when the floods tore through last year. And we had actually just spoken with Yancey right here at the park 2 weeks ago.
We were talking about,
Sir.
you know, there.
Wait, sir. Did they tell you, hey, are you prepared for the floods? Did somebody tell you, like, are you prepared for the floods? And then you're like, yes. And then what happened? Listen, I do feel bad for you. I really do. And I want to get you a new truck and a new RV trailer and all that stuff. But damn. Like, one, I think you voted for Trump. And then two, like, okay, they tell you that the floods are coming, and then why didn't you move your truck to a higher ground? I don't know. Was there not higher ground you could get to so it didn't end up in a river? Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just, like, stupid and an asshole for thinking that. But like I said, you do look like a Trump supporter, and yo, if God wills it, God wills it. You know what I'm saying?
There was still some stuff in question about the rebuild and everything, but we were still talking about rebuilding.
Yes, everything must go to start rebuilding. And
now
I've talked to my partner, and I don't think we will.
And they actually say they think the damage to their site is worse than it was last year. And one sign of that, the water here is moving faster than I've ever seen it. They say this is usually a really calm part of the river, but it is loud and it is flowing. And then panning back out, all of this space used to be lush and green, and there was a very defined riverbank. Obviously, that's absolutely just not in existence here right now. We will, of course, continue to follow up with them to see if there is any possibility that they can rebuild.
Why would they rebuild in a place that keeps fucking flooding? Why would they do that? Their insurance is not going to cover them. They're like, oh, you want money to rebuild in the exact same spot that's fucking flooded 2 years in a row now? Not with us. Denied. Like, don't be fucking stupid, lady.
Back to you.
Finds itself in need of rescue this afternoon.
And KXAN's Matt Grant is live from Concord, where the department is reeling less than a year after suffering some pretty heavy damage, Matt.
Well, cleanup here continues, but you can see on the side of the road there is still water and downed trees. And if you walk with me this way, we're here at the Center Point Fire Department. You can see this cross right here is a memorial to the Camp Mystic flood victims from last year. And on the ground, this heavy metal sign that was put up in their honor knocked down. All of this caused by the Guadalupe River rising more than 30 feet in just 4 hours.
We've had 2 500-year floods in a year's time.
Surreal. That's how Centerpoint volunteer firefighter Razor Dobbs describes losing everything all over again.
This opened up some wounds for people. I mean, this was forever.
Literally a year ago, bro. Yeah, it's literally a year. Like, people are still rebuilding, and now it's gone again. Like, and again, we had a whole year to prepare. Instead of spending money on fucking preparing for another flood, instead of addressing climate change, instead of doing any of those things, we fucking went to war with Iran and not protecting that man's RV park and this man's fucking fire station. I'll be goddamn.
For us down here, this was just as bad as it was last year, as far as the water and devastation.
This week, Dobbs says 7 feet of water poured in from the nearby Guadalupe River, leaving behind a mess and a total loss.
The water came so fast. I mean, that's what a lot of people don't understand, is that it came so fast, so big.
While some trucks were saved, everything else, he says, needs to be replaced. As crews continue to clean up, this volunteer fire department, which covers 150 square miles, is still reeling from damage sustained during last year's July 4th flooding. This memorial, a painful reminder and tribute to the victims, standing tall out front.
The emotional impact on this to the community, to a lot of people, is big.
Now, other agencies from across the region are rushing in to answer calls and provide backup. Dobbs says his department was well prepared to respond, having undergone increased training since last year. The task now, move forward and rebuild.
We're not a victim on this in the sense of our whole job, this station, it's here for a reason, and we're here to serve the community.
Well, Dobbs says in response to last year's flooding, they actually purchased land nearby, and they're hoping within the next few years to build a new, bigger facility not far away in the next couple of years to hopefully prevent the kind of flood damage that we're seeing right now. In Kirk County, Matt Grant, KSAN News.
Like, yeah, legit. If they're not going to build river protection, if they're not going to put in some fucking beavers there to solve the flooding problems, that's what they need, is put in some fucking beavers to solve this flooding problem in Kerr Valley. If they're not going to do any of that shit to prevent this from happening again, yeah, you either move your business, move the fucking fire station, sell your the land that your home is on or used to be on. Like, you can't set 2 years in a row it's flooded and you've lost everything. Like, you can't, yeah, you just can't. You just can't do it again.
In central Texas, devastating storms unleashing more than 2 feet of rain in some parts. Homes and vehicles underwater. A bridge washed away. ABC's Faith Abube in Texas.
Tonight, relentless rains and flooding leaving a trail of destruction across the Texas Hill Country.
Even though the worst of the rain is going to be behind us for a while, as in for days, the rivers are going to continue to rise.
This bridge in Uvalde County collapsing after more than 2 feet of torrential rainfall drenched the region. In Kerrville,
it's a semi.
Vehicles washed into trees and homes, wreckage littering yards and streets. And this debris right here, solid steel, the frame of a single-wide mobile home.
Oh wow, yeah, see, that's somebody's home. So you're so disrespectful. Knocking on somebody's home like that. It's like, you should be like, hey, somebody's home has just been mangled and it's stuck in this fucking
and now wrapped around this tree like a ribbon. First responders performing hundreds of high water rescues. This stranded person airlifted by helicopter in Gillespie County Thursday.
Gillespie,
At
Jesus.
least 2 people killed in the flooding, including 65-year-old Mark Stewart. His family says his Kerrville home was swept away.
Entire house
Today,
is
we
swept.
followed up with Robert Shelton,
Wow.
from the attic of his home after his 11-year-old daughter woke him up at 2 a.m.
So this is how high the water was?
Yeah.
And your neck was just a little bit above that, hanging on for air in the attic.
Yep, that's all we could do at that point. It's kind of hit me this morning a little bit, but yeah, I got to stay strong.
For your kids, you have to stay strong for your kids and thank the Lord for your fucking daughter waking you up and you, being able to survive that. Like, Jesus, get to the roof. You gotta get to the roof of your house and just hope it doesn't fucking get swept away. But, oh my God. I don't know how many times I can say this, but I'm gonna keep fucking saying it. We have all this fucking money for wars, but we don't have money to protect Kerrville, Gillespie, Houston, San Antonio, Hill Country from floods? Like, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck? Why do we have money for endless wars, but we don't have money to protect ourselves from fucking floods?
Tree cleanup has begun and the rain is moving out.
Faith
but
Abube?
isolated flood threats remain in the western part of the state. Mary.
Faith Abube following the storm.
Abube,
Faith,
might
thank
be.
you.
Alright. And now, I mean, it don't stop. It don't fucking stop. We got floods in the south. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the hearts and the smiles. Um, appreciate you. Okay. Um, we have floods here in the south. Okay, Petey, stop. We have floods in the south. Thank you, brother. I knew it was you. Floods here in Texas. Floods here killing people, and we got the fire. Okay, Peter the Fifth. Oh my God, you have the name of four other people in our family. Jesus. We have flooding in Texas. We have businesses destroyed, homes destroyed, people's lives destroyed here in Texas. And in Canada, everything is on fire and you can't breathe.
This is the headlines. Trump rips Canada as the wildfire smoke spreads, says U.S. will add pollution cost to the tariffs. Okay, so I guess our strategy today is attack Canada and attack Americans, right? So you blame Canada for wildfires and then you tax Americans more. I guess that's your plan, which is a pretty ridiculous plan, but what does Trump do? It's not ridiculous, so there's that. This is his tweet out, right? And you can read this whole thing if you like. He's complaining about filthy, polluted, unhealthy air, basically talking about himself, right? He'll say he'll call the prime minister during the day to find out what they can do about it. And then he's calling this willful negligence and saying we're going to add more to the tariffs. So that's according to Trump. So again, tax Americans more. I want to show you a response.
As for other elected officials in the U.S., I have to remind the American people, when there was wildfires in California, we had our water bombers on standby. The only reason we couldn't send them because they didn't have the water to get the water bombers filled up. When the hurricanes happened, I think it was last year, down in Georgia, North Carolina, we sent our linemen down there to reconnect. We sent resources, we sent everything. So, a good neighbor, and I truly believe the Americans are good neighbors. If there's some politicians out there chirping away, well, maybe what you should do rather than complain is send support, send help, because we have done the exact same thing for our American friends, and that's what you're supposed to do.
And I agree, that's what we should do, right? I'm always thankful cool that Canada is a neighbor, right? They send help when we need it.
I gave you a shout out. Thank you, Peter McCann. Peter McCann the Fifth. Thank you so much for being an awesome brother. And look at it, you raised or you helped raise a awesome little brother. And yeah, we actually care about people. So woohoo!
And we should be sending help when they need it to work together. Remember, Trump is always about attacking other people, attacking countries, destroying relationships, and figuring out ways to grift for himself. That's essentially what it boils down to. So, for example, that tweet I just showed you, Trump wants to charge you $100,000 per month to get the tweets even faster, I guess, if you really want to read his stuff. Trump media pitched $100,000 monthly fee for fast feed of president's post. Wow. So I guess if you want to do insider trading, get the
monthly $100,000 monthly.
It is so.
The fourth?
So
are you sure?
So there's that.
Lands in New Jersey, where the World Cup final is going to be played on Sunday. The stadium, look at that, it's covered in this thick haze from the wildfire smoke from Canada and northern Minnesota.
Yep, the smoke is spreading across the U.S., triggering air quality alerts in 20 states.
Chandler Painter joins us with the details on these dangerous conditions. Good morning, Chandler.
Yeah, hey guys, I don't know about you, but that smoke overnight still irritating my eyes, and the effects are...
Oh, I'm sure it is, sweetie. I'm sure it is. Oh my God.
Not just here in New York City, that dense haze is choking areas all across the Northeast and Upper Midwest with air quality alerts in 20 states, like you said. Minneapolis's air quality...
Just for reference, when there was wildfires in California, my brother's home state, Mexico and Canada sent firefighters and equipment to assist with the fires. What are we sending? We're sending tariffs. Okay, we're sending a bill to them.
Among the worst in the world among major cities. Air quality in Minneapolis.
This is something that you want everyone to be working together to protect people, especially those that are vulnerable. So at least they're talking about on Fox that it's an awful situation, and I get it. You post Trumpy post on whatever they say, but this is the reality. What else are Americans facing along with that? Gas prices. Now it's $3.98. That's regular. Diesel's already up.
What happened? What happened? Why is gas going up? What price? Gas was going down. What did they do? We're supposed to be saving money. What happened?
To $5. If you take a look at what Trump is up to, he's telling you that I guess everything's cheaper. That's according to Trump. Gas, electricity, auto insurance. We talked about before last time. They had this weird post about auto insurance, and I asked you guys, like, is your auto insurance cheaper? And people said no. So hotels, prescription drugs, according to Trump, is all cheaper. Fantastic. But this is what the Trumps are up to. Iran war live updates. Bridges and water plants hit in the latest escalation. So I guess there's that. Fantastic. So now we're attacking infrastructure here. This is then an hour ago, and it's probably referring to the same. CENTCOM launched a round of strikes against Iran at 3 p.m. Eastern time today, the 7th consecutive.
That's what happened. That's what happened. They decided, hey, we're gonna just attack Iran again. We're just gonna attack him again, and we were almost out of the global oil crisis. We're gonna just take ourselves back into that global oil crisis. We're gonna cause oil prices to spike, gas prices to spike, and we're gonna take more money out of your fucking pocket. Cause you know why? Fuck you.
Executive night. Strikes are designed to continue degrading Iranian military capabilities. So then headline then is bridges and water plants. So we're basically doing war crimes at this moment. If you take a look at what Trump is up to, he's concerned about himself and his photo ops. That's why he's mad about the air. So this is a couple hours ago, right? There's Trump. He's boarding on the plane going to FIFA. Okay, you can see it right there. So he's all concerned about how's this gonna look on the photo if there's bad air. This is then also what's going on in USA, right? Remember, Trump's making speeches about what happened 6 years ago. He doesn't care about your lives today.
Everybody's talking about this one. The CDC has reported over 1,600 confirmed cases so far across 34 states. But with state cases ahead of the CDC, that number is over 5,000. It highlights the severity of the outbreak, with concern that the problem will get worse before it gets better. Health officials are investigating Taco Bell's iceberg lettuce supplier as a possible source for the outbreak. The FDA and CDC trace the illness in some states to lettuce grown.
I'm not a fan of Taco Bell. My friends are fans of Taco Bell, and for cheap food, when you just got to feed the kids and shit like that, go ahead, do you. All right? I think it's a little bit slanderish, defamatory to call it Taco Bell's lettuce supplier, when Taylor Farms supplies lettuce to lots of people. Taylor Farm, that's just one of Taylor Farms' fucking clients. Taylor Farms customers. Taylor Farms also supplies like the bag lettuce that you go get, like a Caesar, not a Caesar mix, but yeah, like the salad mixes, your Asian salad mix, your fucking club salad, all that shit. They supply it for Trader Joe's. What is it? I think Walmart, Fry's. There are a lot of big names that they sell. So it's not just Taco Bell's lettuce. It's the lettuce at the store too. Okay? And it's not just lettuce either. So I think this is just one. But the thing about Taylor Farms is part of the chlorea outbreak a few years ago. Like, so this isn't their first rodeo on fucking spreading foodborne allergens into the world.
In Mexico, the Wall Street Journal reports it's from a company called Taylor Farms, which supplies several major restaurant chains. Taylor Farms has yet to comment.
See, he was several major chains, but only Taco Bell's getting the heat. That's fucked up, bro.
So you got basically, and this is literally what it is. They're refer to it as explosive diarrhea, and the cases keep going up. I guess they're tracing Taco Bell. Could be one of the latest sourcing things, but this is what's happening, right? And again, Trump's more concerned about his photo ops. Then you got Trump coming off the plane, right? There he comes. I'm just showing you recent news, right? So he's getting ready to go to his World Cup thing. This is also happening in USA. If you got any problems or anything like that, we throw you a circus. We fly jets over your head. Seriously, this is in the news. So I guess
so dangerous, so fucking dangerous. And he's beefing with Spain right now. If he has to give the trophy to Spain, oh bro, I hope those Spanish people are fucking rude to him. I hope they're so fucking rude to him. Oliver, get off.
The flyover was way too low, way too close to the spectators, and people were complaining, and then the military saying, "Oh, it's great, right?" No one was fired, I guess, and that's the sound of freedom. That's actually their response, and people were concerned about this, which I completely understand. If you're like, "Hey, we want to come see a flyover, but it's like a little bit low, right?" And then Trump's going on and on about attacking Canada, and so again, he's only concerned about his photo ops. I want you to see what the regular person has to say about what's going on.
Real with you, I'm gonna be very real with you, okay? You might be like, ew. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm tired. I'm tired of everything I thought that was good in this country growing up not being what it actually is. I'm tired of everything not being what it was told to me to be. I'm tired of the fact that I served in the military, okay? I went overseas, I protected the poppy fields in Afghanistan, and guess what? That's all I was really there for. I wasn't there for any type of real patriotic anything. I was there to subjugate a Middle Eastern country, probably on the behest of another Middle Eastern country that starts with the letter I. I'm tired of everything about my food has been a lie to me. I'm tired of figuring out everything about our government has been a lie. I'm tired of figuring out that sports, something that I love at the professional level, is just a giant circus. They just want you to bet. They just want you to drink. They just want you to spend money. I'm tired.
Right? And so that's how basically people think about life in USA. They want you to be gambling, betting, right? They want you to give, I guess, Trump $100,000, but then you start to realize, man, this is all a sham. And that's why I show you guys what's going on, and if Trump really cared about regular people, we'd be addressing this. Hey, let's make food quality better in USA. Hey, let's figure out how we can work with our partners to make literally your air quality better, these kind of things. And also I want to give you a perspective of people abroad. So this is in Spain, to show you how life can be different.
I was held on a park bench in Valencia, Spain after my first San Juan last night. It was absolutely epic. Like Kevin explained, the energy on the beach, it was incredible. Met so many amazing humans. My whole time in Spain here, literally been here for 4 days, but I've been thinking about how the access to health is so much more tangible here in Spain than it is back in the United States. And I don't think...
I'm going to Spain in July next year, and I told Anna I get migraines when there's big storms rolling in, and she said, I'll take you to the doctor when you come to Spain next year. And I was like, no, I can't go, I'm a foreigner. She's like, nope, we'll pay for it, don't worry.
I think that there's one thing that...
In hindsight 2020, she kind of owes me healthcare, fucking colonizing ass, conquistadora.
You can necessarily pinpoint. I think it's a holistic lifestyle that creates a lower barrier of entry to health. For instance, where I am right now, I'm in this absolutely gorgeous park, just nestled in between two really busy streets here in the neighborhood where I'm staying.
Right, so she's talking about the park, talking about like mental, physical health, these kind of things, and it's something that you will notice. And I'm using this example because, just for example, what if instead of spending all the money on the military or sending our troops to go guard poppy fields, you know, on behalf of a country that starts with I? I'm gonna start using that one. That's pretty good. But the I thing, but not, you know, sending our troops out to poppy fields. The point though is I'm trying to make is like, what if you use the money to say, hey, let's clean up our parks, let's invest in healthcare, let's make education better, let's talk about public transportation, which also makes your life better, right? It's different perspectives on like, what could you do if you weren't, you know, spending billions of dollars on the military.
Spanish healthcare is that Ella just had food poisoning the other day, and she was really sick, you know, the whole food poisoning classic. She didn't think she could go to the ER because we have to take public transport to get there. So I called the insurance, and they have somebody that comes to the house. So a doctor came to the house, did a full assessment on her, listened to her belly, the whole thing, gave me a prescription for a nausea medication. I take the prescription, it's a little paper prescription. I go up to the pharmacy, I walk about a block away, and then I get back home. It costs €2.83 for the prescription for 60 tablets because they can't open a box here. And then I get home and it's less than 5 minutes from the time I left the house to get the prescription, got the prescription, and come back. So simple. Cost me $0.
Yeah, life is a little different in Spain. Similar. Anna's from Tudela, Spain. It's in northern Spain, like 2 hours from Madrid or something like that. But she is, can do similar walk, but she does prefer the big city. She was telling me that she's like, yeah, you know, I love my hometown. I love coming, seeing my family and my parents, but it's too small for her. She got a taste of Austin. She's like, yeah, no, I like the party life. Muchas fiestas.
For copay, and the insurance cost me just roughly, I think it was like €793 for the whole year. So for less than what a normal monthly insurance would cost in the US, plus no copay, plus super cheap medication, super happy with the healthcare over here so far. I'm on my way to school, so also in front of a big, nice hospital of Aldebaran. But yeah, so far been really happy, really satisfied.
So you can see the difference, right? And I just want you to see it for yourself. I know I tell you about my experiences, but when you hear other people's, it's not just one or two random people. This is what it looks like when you invest in the health of your citizens. It's just a different perspective, because over on Fox News, they try to scare you all the time. If you watch right-wing influencers, they try to scare you. If we're going to switch over, we're all going to be not free, and they're going to, you know, take away everything. It's actually opposite. If you invest in your people, actually, lives become a lot better. So this is Trumpy land, to show you a difference here. So this is on Fox News. It says, United Airlines is reportedly allowing some passengers to change their flights for free if they don't want to land at Florida's newly renamed President Trump International Airport.
It's just funny.
I get the arguments all around. So if you work at United, right, you're probably getting complaints. I don't want to land at the dang airport. And it's like, that's a headache. I completely understand, right? I completely understand if someone's just like, just land at the damn airport, right? It is what it is. Regardless, it is a horrible situation, and it's completely created by Trump because he really wants to name airports after himself, right? This is the unnecessary headaches. The same way, say, if you send all the money and send all the troops off to some foreign land to fight on behalf of the country with the letter I. I mean, this is what you get, right? And let me show you another perspective, okay?
And you guys, I'm in shock. I'm in shock because I have never in my life got this sort of treatment at a hospital. I have never got massages or like physical therapy like for such an affordable price. And I'm sitting here with my meal with fresh ingredients. And it's just
Actually, I'll go back to that. That's correct. So I've stayed at hospitals before in Korea. That's what the food looks like. It's really hard to explain. It's healthy. It's pretty good, actually.
It doesn't look like they have salt and pepper, but that's okay. Yeah, like, fuck, Chris, you're just rubbing it in our faces. Yeah, everybody got better healthcare than us. We fucking get it. All right, fuck you, Chris. Moving on. Moving on to the less fun story, less sad, more sad story. Yeah, I mean, ICE is just shooting all willy nilly, killing people. Shot a lady last night. Just a protester. That guy got arrested right away. And it's just not gonna stop because these people are just racist assholes and they're just looking for a reason to pull their gun and shoot somebody. Fucking bitches.
As President Trump giving his address. In Houston, Texas, hundreds of community members gathered Thursday evening for a public viewing of Lorenzo Salgado Araujo, the 52-year-old Mexican father of 3 U.S. citizens shot and killed by an ICE agent on July 7th. Members of the public lined up outside the chapel at Farris Park, Lawndale Funeral Home in Houston's predominantly Latino East End district before making their way inside, where the body of Lorenzo Salgado Araujo was laid in an open casket, his sons standing by their father's casket for hours, greeting mourners who wore different shades of blue at the family's request, many of them in tears. A mariachi band wearing all black stood by the casket, filling the room with music. Photos and videos of some of the family's most...
Oh, man. That could be my grandpa's friend. That could have been my uncle. Okay, maybe not one of my uncles. Definitely like a cousin, though. That's so sad. Wow. Fuck, bro. That could be me. That could be me, bro.
Joyful moments were projected in the background. Several altars also...
Not my brother.
...adorned the chapel.
My brother is a lot more melanin deficient than I am.
One table held Salgado Araujo's construction tools, including 2 of his white hard hats, while another displayed 2 of his Mexico soccer jerseys.
This is like a typical picture from my mom's and dad's like family photo album. Like the fucking flower furniture, dressed up, beer in the hand, a little drunk, just happy fucking. Just a good happy life with your family, and now their family doesn't get to make those memories anymore with their dad because of our racist, gun-happy government.
Jerseys. Democracy Now!'s Maria Inez Taracena spoke to some of the people who attended. She was outside the funeral home because recording was not permitted inside.
My name is Cesar Espinosa, and I am the executive director of Fiel. The feeling inside is it paints a picture of a man who loved his family, who loved his kids, who loved life. And his life should have never been taken away on that fateful Tuesday morning, July 7th, 3 days after our Independence Day. On the streets of Magnolia Park. He should still be alive today. At this time right now, he should be having dinner at home. He should have been listening to his music, getting ready for the next workday, which he would have done regardless. I think it's the feeling, and there's one of somberness, but it's also a very peaceful kind of, atmosphere. There's a lot of people wearing blue, which apparently was his favorite color. There's jerseys, there's pictures, family pictures, shrines, things that the people have brought for the family. They're giving away these little soccer balls because just a few days before he was killed on our streets, he was watching the World Cup, and according to his sons, up until the moment where he died, he was still upset that Mexico had lost. Looking back at history, it brought back memories of Emmett Till, when his mom also let the community grieve with them, and she wanted to show the world what they had done to her son. And I think today, this family also wanted to show the world what they had done to their father.
Ruby Powers, you are the attorney for Victor Salgado, Lorenzo Salgado Araujo's younger brother, who witnessed the fatal.
It's so sad. She's really pretty though. I would get her phone number.
Shooting. We were just at the public viewing with the family, with community members. Earlier today, you were visiting Victor in an ICE jail here in Texas, about an hour from Houston.
You know, I went there to work on our paperwork, but also to check in with him because I'd been a few days and wanting to make sure he was doing well. But
wait. He had filed for his green card. He had filed for his green card.
yes, to see him and know that he's wanting to be here, but he's only here in spirit at the moment. Earlier in the week, we requested that Victor be able to come to his brother's visitation to pay his last respects, and we heard that ICE granted that request. We weren't given the when or where or the details, but we're hoping that it happens soon. And so, you know, he was looking forward to that. But I know that it's hard for him because even if he is allowed, it'll be very brief encounter, and he won't be able to interact with a lot of his family.
And also, if he's allowed to come to the public viewing, it'll be with the presence of law enforcement, of ICE agents.
Well, my understanding is that if and when it happens, it'll be very private, and so, but yes, there's definitely conditions on that visit. But having practiced for 18 years, I've never heard of someone being released for a situation like this, but this is a very unique situation. But you're right, you know, it's challenging, but I think that he'd rather be here, even if it's with those conditions, than not having the chance.
Hi, my name is Hai Bui. I'm the founder of We the People Organize. When I walked in, the families are on both sides, full, amazing, big family. And of course, they told me, yeah, go in the front to give respect. And I, as a Buddhist, I pray for his, good wishes, and we're here to help to fight justice for him. And we'll do whatever it takes to stick with this case. Every week, we always pray that this wouldn't happen. To be honest with you, we knew that the numbers, because our city has the highest immigrant, and we just knew that we just prayed it won't happen, and it did happen.
That was Hai Bui, Ruby Powers, and Cesar Espinosa, who attended the public viewing of the body of Lorenzo.
I love me when cultures come together and put aside their differences, and they come together just to take care of one another. And I just hate that it takes something so terrible, like a father who is in the process of getting papers. Like, that's what we're talking about. We're just getting a card. He just needs to get a card that has his name and date of birth on it. He was in the process of getting that fucking card, and they took his life. So that's what's happening in the USA right now.
Lorenzo Salgado Araujo in Houston Thursday evening. Special thanks to our team at Democracy Now!, Maria Inez Terracena, Hani Massoud, and Nicole Salazar. After the viewing, Lorenzo's eldest son, Ronaldo, posted a note of thanks on Facebook, saying in part, quote, "Houston is such a wonderful place full of love. My dad made the right choice in choosing this place to spend the rest of his life and raise his family, surrounded by a strong community that supports and watches each other's backs. May my dad, Lorenzo Salgado Araujo, rest in peace, and with y'all's love and support, may his legacy live forever," Ronaldo said. On Wednesday, the Department of Homeland Security said it would reverse plans to hold traffic stops following the shooting deaths of 2 immigrants by ICE agents in less than a week in Houston and Biddeford, Maine. The U-turn came after President Trump wrote on social media, "We cannot give up one of ICE's most important and effective crime-fighting tools, the traffic stop." Trump added, "It won't happen on my watch." Thanks for watching Democracy Now! On YouTube. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to make sure you never miss a video. And for more of our audience-supported journalism, go to democracynow.org, where you can download our news app, sign up for our newsletter, subscribe to the daily podcast, and so much more.
Maybe that's why I didn't want to stream today. Maybe that's why I didn't want to stream today. I was like, damn, I'm a little sad, a little angry, little bit of everything.
Reportedly not using body-worn cameras, and that's despite DHS officials coming to Congress and repeatedly saying over the last few months that they want to expand body camera usage. Does there need to be accountability on DHS from Congress here?
I don't know anything about this event. Okay, I was a little busy yesterday, so I'm going to reserve judgment. I know that there was a tragic shooting, and I'm not going to comment on it because I don't know. And you guys can mock me for not knowing that.
I'm not going to mock you for it, Mike. I'm just going to call you a liar because that's what you are. You know exactly what happened yesterday.
House Speaker Mike Johnson, or MAGA Mike as he is referred to on the Midas Network, was tarnished as a liar after being asked about the recent fatal shooting by an ICE agent in Biddeford, Maine. Specifically, Johnson was asked why the agent involved was apparently not wearing a body camera. And Johnson, need I remind you, the Republican Speaker of the House whose governance oversees the enormous amount of ICE funding, something he's spoke about at length and voted on, gave a non-answer that was met with immense scrutiny.
I'm not going to mock you for it, Mike. I'm just going to call you a liar because that's what you are. You know exactly what happened yesterday. You know what happened in Minneapolis. You understand that un-American actions are continuing to accelerate across America while Susan Collins votes for $70 billion in ICE funding that has no reforms attached to it. You have Americans being gunned down in the streets of Minneapolis by masked men. That's un-American. You have fathers, husbands.
Father, a husband, a brother, a cousin, an uncle, a hard worker who is in the process of becoming a legal fucking citizen, a legal permanent resident, gunned down in the street because he didn't have a fucking card that says I'm a legal permanent resident. Like, fuck you. Fuck you, you assholes. I don't really like Jake Tapper though, because we're gonna skip over him.
And more affordable health care.
The Speaker, fresh from a recent recess after his party couldn't get the vote.
See what I mean? Another recess. Like, Jesus. They get paid $150,000 a year that have to work 12 weeks out of the year.
Needed to pass a bill that included the politically toxic SAVE Act, was once again out here telling the American people how hard he's working. Remember when he did that a few months back and how that went over?
And here in Washington, the work has gone on in earnest as well. People keep commenting to me.
No, it hasn't. You a lying sack of shit, Mike.
You look so tired on TV. I'm so tired because we're not sleeping a lot. We're working overtime.
That's a fucking lie.
Here in Washington, our House Committee.
Like, how many lies? Why do we let these assholes lie to us? Why do we let them lie to us? Why isn't it a law? Hey, if you get up and talk to the American people as a representative of the American people, you can't lie. Okay? It's like me lying to my mother. It's like after a point, it's like, yo, you can't lie to me. I know when you're fucking lying. I know you're lying because you're fucking smiling. Like, stop fucking smiling and say it with a straight face, and I'll believe you. This motherfucker, straight liar. Fuck.
Committees have continued to conference together and do all the work we can to ensure legislation is ready for the floor for action as soon as we get back to legislative session.
And he went on to respond to a question about the ICE shooting with, quote, "I'm not going to comment on it because I don't know, and you guys can mock me for that. I worked about 22 hours in the last few days, and I did not get the briefing on that yet." Don't worry, Mike, nobody needs to mock you. The statement is doing an excellent job of embarrassing itself.
Everybody needs to understand these crazy little mini Mamdanis who are popping up all around the country, they are a danger to you and your family. This is not a game. If they promise you free stuff, there is far more beneath those promises that even some of these people do not understand themselves. And so we are here as the Republicans.
What about all that free money that Trump was supposed to get us? Still didn't get a Doge check, didn't get a tariff check. Companies got a tariff check. We didn't get a tariff check though. What else is supposed to get? We're supposed to get like dividends from SpaceX. SpaceX is crashing right now. Like, what the fuck? Where's our money, bro? Mike, you owe us like $5,000, Mike. Where's the fucking money, Mike?
Republican Party to stand on the founding principles of the greatest nation in the history of the world. It is our duty to do that. And we're doing it on behalf of all of you, even the journalists who don't agree with our policies all the time. You better agree on these principles, because it's what keeps you free. By the way, it's what keeps the press free, okay? This is essential for your well-being.
Donald Trump has sent subpoenas to 4 journalists for their reporting on the safety security concerns on the Qatari plane that President Trump acquired. Yeah, just that. Hold on, I'm gonna get my drink.
And your family. This is not a game. This is not our father's Democrat Party. We're not arguing over marginal tax rates anymore. We're arguing over whether or not freedom is going to survive. And that's why we're so serious about this. Look, I'm a happy warrior, man. I like to get up and have fun, but this is not a fun time. We're in a war. We're in a philosophical war to save the greatest nation in the history of the world. And we take it very seriously.
You see, you're the Speaker of the House, the man second in line to the presidency after the Vice President, the leader responsible for deciding which legislation receives a vote. And when he is asked about another person being killed during an immigration enforcement operation carried out by an agency that his party has just shoveled with billions of dollars, his response is essentially, "Sorry, I've been busy." Busy doing what, Mike? Funding them? Because Johnson's claimed lack of knowledge would be slightly more understandable if he were just, I don't know, an unrelated citizen who had just spent the morning golfing, you know, kind of like the president. But he's the most powerful member of the House of Representatives, right? There's a reason he's held to a different standard. His party has made ICE enforcement one of its central domestic priorities.
But it all goes back to the Dems, who want to continually attack ICE and tell people to evade them, tell people don't comply, tell people to resist, and tell people ICE isn't real law enforcement agency. You and I talked about this 1.5 years ago, Laura. I said if the hateful rhetoric didn't stop, there will be bloodshed. And I'm saying it right now. There's still going to be more bloodshed unless they shut their mouth and let ICE enforce the laws that they enacted.
He personally helped move legislation providing nearly $70 billion in additional immigration enforcement funding. This on top of the fact that the White House said approximately $38 billion would go to ICE, with another $26 billion for Border Patrol and $5 billion for unforeseen costs. I mean, that funding is designed to sustain Trump's deportation operation for the next 3 years, which...
Yo, we can fund these motherfuckers who are killing people in the streets, but we can't fund protecting homes and businesses in Kerr Valley? Please make it make sense. Please make it make sense. How do we have $70 fucking billion for a rogue agency violating people's rights, but we don't have $70 billion to protect towns from flooding?
Is leading to incidents like
Lord
this.
help
So
us.
Johnson very much does know
Lord,
about
hear our
ICE. He knows
prayers.
where its money is coming from. He knows how much they are getting, and he knows how long the funding lasts, as well as the political promises it is intended to fulfill. So he apparently knows everything about ICE except what ICE is doing with all that money. And his answer very much seemed to get under the skin of MSNBC's Joe Scarborough, who had this to say. Scarborough argued that Johnson already knew about a broader pattern of controversial ICE operations and fatal encounters, even if he had not yet received a specific briefing on the main shooting.
Time and time again in American streets. And what happens afterwards? The killers are whisked away. The killers are whisked away, and they're protected from justice, just like King George III would surely protect royal troops that gunned down patriots 250 years ago. Whisk them away from the scene of the crime where the patriots are gunned down. Here, whisking these masked federalites without cause. I want to know, what does Ken Paxton think about a Hispanic father, a Hispanic grandfather, a man who'd been in America for over 30 years, misidentified and
isn't that the type of immigrant they want? Somebody who's going to be here for 35 years and not commit crimes and pay taxes.
Shot to death in the street of Houston. What does Ken Paxton think about that? What does Susan Collins? I'm sure she's disturbed. Or what's her word? What's her word? What'd she say? I'm concerned. Maybe it's concerned.
They're all concerned.
I'm sure she's concerned.
I would be concerned
about what happened in the streets of Maine. A sweet, kind, young man that community members said was so kind, so loving, getting gunned down
in front of his little girl
through a car window in front of his family.
And that distinction matters here, right? Because it may be entirely possible that Mike Johnson had not yet read the detailed briefing about this one incident at the exact moment he was questioned. But Republicans, they're often out here immediately tarnishing anyone who comes into contact with ICE as radical terrorists. If you remember, Kristi Noem did this very thing. But it also doesn't mean that he was unaware of the larger crisis surrounding.
My friend is a victim of the CDC cutting fucking monitoring of foodborne allergens. And he went to Taco Bell on Monday. He said he's had diarrhea since. Oh my God. That's what his fat ass gets. He even said it too. He's like, I don't even eat Taco Bell. But like, yeah, we don't eat Taco Bell. We fucking go with like my Caucasian friends, my melanin deficient friends. They fucking eat Taco Bell. But we don't. And he's like, yeah, I had it on Monday. And I fucking had diarrhea, and then I'm scrolling there with diarrhea on the toilet, and I fucking read about this outbreak.
Immigration enforcement. Johnson knew that Democrats had demanded reforms. He knew that those proposals included body camera requirements, visible identification, restrictions on masks, judicial warrants before entering private property, and stronger oversight of the use of force. He also knew fine well that Republicans rejected most of those demands and approved funding with virtually no strings attached.
My mom is 96 years old, and she says she's never seen anything this barbaric in her whole lifetime. Never seen this type of cruelty that they treat our people worse than animals.
How was it important for her to come here this morning?
Para pedir poder que su alma descanse en paz, que Dios lo perdone, le dé fuerza a su familia.
How much pain has this killing brought to the Houston community.
No tiene precio, no tiene límite. There's no number or limit that you can describe the amount of pain that it has caused the community. Nunca se había visto algo así tan tremendo, tan inhumano. It'd be different if they were doing something evil or some type of crime, but to take people out of just their work is what gets to her.
So when Johnson's out here
on his way to work, you fucking killed him, bro.
I don't know, he is framing the issue as though the public is asking him to, I don't know, reconstruct one confusing incident from scratch. But the real question is broader. Why did you give an agency tens of billions of dollars without requiring the basic safeguards that make incidents like this easier to investigate? The Republican argument is that ICE needs enormous resources because immigration enforcement is a national emergency. But don't emergencies then require more oversight? I mean, when the government gives armed federal agents expanded resources, expanded staffing, an explicit mandate to conduct mass enforcement operations across the United States, Congress does not then get to act surprised when those operations produce confrontations, injuries, and deaths like this.
3 men were killed in ICE encounters in less than a week. As a result, DHS announced that it would end vehicle stops, and then President Trump urged them to change their position. Can you confirm whether vehicle stops are back on, and is the administration doing anything more to prevent these kinds of deaths, maybe accelerating distribution of body cameras which weren't present in this case?
So a couple of things. Vehicle stops are continuing. Verbal guidance has been given to all field offices across the country by the Department of Homeland Security. The President and the Secretary of Homeland Security are on the same page that vehicle stops are a necessary tool that ICE agents need in order to continue their...
That's such trash. That's such fucking trash. Bullshit.
Deportation campaign of the worst illegal alien criminals from our country. With respect to body cameras, I know there's been some questions about that in recent days. Over half of all ICE field offices now do have body cameras, and the remainder of the field offices are expected within 60 days. It's been a slower rollout than we would have hoped, but that's because of the Democrats' decision to shut down DHS for several weeks. So we expect to fully execute on the promise of body cams to all field offices across the country very soon.
The funding package
Very soon.
passed the House.
Bruh, very soon. Y'all have $70 billion, but yeah, we're working on body cams, y'all. Working on body cams. They don't have a Trump company that they can funnel the money to. That's what they're working on. They need to first buy interest into a body cam company, and then after they've bought some stocks in a body cam company, they're gonna then they're gonna give them the contract for the cameras, and so boom, 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 they make all their money back. That's how it is nowadays.
215 votes to 212, including nearly 70 billion for immigration enforcement over 3 years, which also came on top of almost 140 billion that the Republican-controlled Congress had already provided to ICE and Customs and Border Protection through an earlier tax and spending law. Reuters reported that the agencies already possessed roughly $100 billion in unspent funds from the previous package when Republicans approved all this additional funding. So yeah, I think they can afford to ensure that body cams are mandated, and Mike Johnson, he knows this. He knows a lot more than he is letting on. He has provided tens of billions of dollars to an armed federal agency, an agency that's decisions have been called into question not just by Democrats but fellow Republicans. It's his business to understand how that agency operates. Yet the Republican position increasingly appears to be give ICE the benefit of every doubt and the public the benefit of no evidence. And in the tragic instance like this, when someone dies, well, let's please patiently wait on Mike Johnson because he's working a lot. He's working too much, I guess, to address the American people concerned with government overreach. I don't know, address them in a way that says, I haven't yet been briefed.
See, his accent sounds real as fuck. Not that Mark Malone fake ass fucking country accent.
We've done the situation, but I will demand a full investigation in cooperation with local authorities and answers, I don't know, regarding the apparent absence of body camera footage. But no, that would be too responsible for the man who goes to bed at night wondering, have I catered to the president enough today?
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis.
Trying to get his fellow Republicans in the House to pass a $350 billion supplemental funding package for the Pentagon. Okay. They already got nearly $1 trillion just for this year, but apparently that's not enough because, Pete Hegseth has fired off all of our missile reserves over into Iran. We need to build more. They're very expensive and take about a day per missile to manufacture. So we got to give them another $350 billion. And it's not just because of what Pete Hegseth has done or what Donald Trump has done. No, Mike Johnson is out there selling this to the American public by telling us that we have to give the Pentagon $350 billion because we're fighting communism on our own shores. That's right, folks. Welcome to McCarthyism 2.0 because Mike Johnson says we have to give the Pentagon hundreds of billions of dollars more because, gosh darn it, the damn communists have infiltrated the United States now. Here's what Johnson said to the American public. Look, we live in dangerous times. We're fighting communism on our own shores, and we're fighting evil terrorists and tyrants around the world, and we have...
Bro, that's a fat-ass typo right there.
...to be able to protect our national security. That's what he said during a press conference. And then on social media, he said this on Tuesday. The barbarians are inside the gate. We are fighting right now in Congress over whether we're going to maintain our status as a constitutional republic or trade that in, dismantle the foundations, and go down this dark road of death to communism. Mike, are the communists in the room with you right now?
I don't feel like a communist. All I want is healthcare, affordable living, and the government not to be corrupt as fuck. Like, I feel like that's not communism. I feel like that's the opposite of communism, maybe. Maybe.
Can you see them? Can other people see them too? Or is it just you? Right? I think it's time you go and have your head examined. This is not the 1940s or the 1950s. We don't need another Red Scare. And in fact, with Americans, reeling from financial disaster after financial disaster after financial disaster this century, communism is no longer as scary to as many people. You got a lot of folks in this country right now looking around and saying, I may not be a communist, but compared to what we've got here, maybe it's worth a shot, because this capitalistic society clearly is not working the way that it is supposed to. It hasn't. In fact, become an oligarchy. Republicans love to say, we got to protect our republic, our republic, our republic. It's an oligarchy run by those very same corporations who took advantage of our capitalistic system and then rose to power themselves, seized the power, and now they're screwing all of us over. Now, I don't know why Republicans think this is a winning message.
Here.
But we are seeing it more and more and more. And of course, fewer and fewer and fewer people are buying it. But they're doing it because we have these, democratic socialists that are securing pretty, important victories across the United States in primaries and, of course, in New York City. So they don't know the difference between socialism and communism. And they think the American public is very stupid and won't know the difference either. And honestly, for the most part, they don't. However, it's no longer scary to them. Because again, if you look back over the last 26 years, right, since the year 2000, we have had multiple different financial disasters. We've had the dot-com bust. We have had the surge in gas prices following 9/11. We had the housing market crisis. We've had multiple different stock market crises. We've had COVID. We've had supply chain disruptions. We've had inflation. We solved inflation. We got inflation back. We've had the tariffs. We've had job losses. We've had record high unemployment. We've tried to get some of the jobs back. We've had a stagnant minimum wage. Do you want me to go on? We've had the student loan crisis. We have medical debt crisis. All of that, folks, is brought to you by capitalism. Now, I'm not anti-capitalist at all, by the way. But when a lot of people in the country, that's the only economic system they've known is just crisis after crisis after crisis, suddenly going out there and screaming, we got to protect us from communism, doesn't seem as important to those people who believe that our current system is nothing but a cascade of failures. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget, tune in every...
All right. This is the masculinity, the toxic masculinity that the right wing is pushing. They're trying to keep their young, dumb, and full of fucking cum men and boys riled up. It's really fucking weird, to be honest with you.
News host Jesse Waters is now in some trouble after cracking a rape joke that stunned even his co-hosts. In a discussion about Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's plans to screen soldiers for low testosterone, Waters endorsed giving troops a boost and then thought he could be funny. Watch.
He says you lose your endurance, muscle mass, so yeah, I want these guys on it. But you know what's going to happen? The guys that don't need it are going to take it. To triple boost. Right. And then they're going to get out there, and women on base, you guys better be careful.
What the fuck? What the fuck? The women on base are women in the service? Why do they have to be careful? Why do they have to watch out for the servicemen that they're serving with? They should only have to worry about the enemy. Why should they have to worry about men hopped up on testosterone doing something? Are you fucking... You're disgusting. You're so fucking gross. Oh my god. Like, ooh, what a fucking bitch, bro.
Women in Asia, you better be careful. Because these guys are going to be wild animals, and you better watch out.
Okay. Yes, awkward silence from his fellow panelists on the Five. On social media, the reaction has been loud and intense. Caroline, I know it's Jesse Waters and there's no low this human shit stain won't stoop to, but he's straight up giggling at the idea of military men committing mass rape after taking tea. Valeria, Fox News is joking about rape. Carla, this guy holds the undisputed crown for brainless commentary. Ron Filipkowski, Fox is a disgusting, toxic, revolting network that platforms the worst of humanity, peddles and lies.
I even tagged them, but fuck this guy.
But this seems to be what their viewers want, which says a lot about them as well. Waters and his Fox News team insist that it was all just a joke. That defense misses the point. Comedy reveals assumptions. Waters' joke depended on his fellow panelists and audience accepting the prospect that American soldiers raping women is inherently funny. It isn't.
No,
Military
it's not.
sexual assault is a documented and devastating problem in the U.S. Armed Forces. Also, crimes committed against civilians overseas have left lasting scars in communities where U.S. forces have been stationed.
Japan, Vietnam, South Korea.
Turning those realities into a punchline trivializes victims and smears the overwhelming majority of U.S. service members who conduct themselves honorably. But this episode is about more than one tasteless remark. It illustrates why Jesse Waters has become the living broadcasting embodiment of everything wrong with American cable news. Waters is not primarily in the business of informing viewers. Waters is in the business of provoking them. His nightly program rewards outrage, mockery, and viral moments, and pushes aside any careful reporting or thoughtful analysis. Every segment on The Five and on Waters' solo show seems designed merely to generate social media clips that inflame supporters and opponents alike. Accuracy...
I feel like it should be a FCC violation. I don't know, like, if they're gonna threaten Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, and the other late night folks for making jokes about Trump, if you're gonna go make a rape joke on national television, then you should get fucking threatened by the FCC too.
Is secondary. Empathy? Forget about it. Shock value is the product. That formula has spread well beyond Fox News. Most of cable news has drifted towards personality-driven entertainment masquerading as journalism. Hosts are rewarded not for illuminating complicated issues, but for producing clips that dominate online discourse for a few hours. The louder the controversy, the greater the ratings. Waters has perfected this business model. His style revolves around reducing serious subjects to playground taunts. Political adversaries who use facts and logic, like Jessica Tarlov, are dismissed with insults and ridicule.
Talked about how much money they're making.
An Iranian said that?
I love that you said that.
You told that to who?
That was
Drop Site News?
Waters' goal, and the goal of a few of his fellow conservative co-hosts, is not to persuade or inform anybody through evidence, but to entertain through derision. Waters' testosterone joke demonstrates where that approach inevitably leads. Once every topic is filtered through the question of what's the funniest or most outrageous thing I can say, there are few boundaries left. Victims become props, institutions become jokes, human suffering becomes content.
I think we have a good handle on things, Jessica. We haven't...
I'm really glad Schuster came out and said something about this. There's been a lot of backlash. There should be a lot more backlash. If this fucking guy says that the Lake Travis being full is good, I'm gonna lose my mind. But David Schuster supports Israel. It's like his one blind spot in his reporting. Otherwise, he's a top-notch reporter. I don't know what the blind spot is for, but yeah, he talks about making light of human suffering and all that. That was a great line, great speech. Really liked it. Apply that to Gaza now, David.
They get hit over and over and over again.
To be clear, Jesse Waters, Fox News executives, and some of their audience insist that critics are taking Waters' comedy too seriously. But that argument ignores the unique role that cable news hosts occupy. Waters is not performing stand-up in a comedy club. He presents himself as a commentator on current events, national affairs, and politics. He speaks each night to millions of viewers on America's most watched cable news network. That platform should carry some basic responsibilities. It is not unreasonable to expect a baseline level of judgment when discussing the military, crime, or sexual violence. Instead, Waters treats public discourse as an endless contest for applause lines. Once upon a time, cable news, including Fox News, aspired to be something better. There was a time when the cable channels informed citizens during wars, natural disasters, elections, and national crises. Today, much of Fox News and too much of the other cable channels have become an outrage factory where triggering emotional reaction is more important than providing factual understanding.
have not done so.
What vaccines has he denied someone?
Oh, COVID-19. Exactly.
Who can't get a
to
COVID-19
Eric
shot?
Erickson's wife to begin, and Bill Cassidy used.
Wait a second. You mean you can't walk into your doctor's office and get
Why
a COVID-19
don't you ever
shot?
prepare? Why don't you prepare?
Jessica Tarlov is doing the Lord's work. I would have punched this man already. He keeps interrupting this queen. Do not speak when Queen Tarlov is speaking. You fucking jester. Jesus Christ.
Kathy Hochul had to do it. No, it is true. He reclassified it. Stop.
Jesse Waters is not solely responsible for the ugly transformation. He is, however, one of its clearest snake oil salesmen. Waters represents a cable news culture that chooses cruelty over wit, embraces provocation instead of courage, and thinks getting attention equals credibility. In a few days, Waters' testosterone joke will fade from the news cycle. Another controversy will replace it. Another viral clip will dominate social media. And another outrage will drive ratings. That cycle is exactly the problem. American journalism should challenge the powerful, elevate public understanding, and foster informed debate. When one of the country's most prominent cable news hosts can joke about the possibility of sexual violence by U.S. troops, and the moment is treated as ordinary entertainment, it reveals how far cable news has fallen. The issue is not simply that just
Fox News and, the mainstream media in general, but it's money. It's capitalism. It's Israel. That's where we've gone amok. We've run amok. We have lost the plot. We are in a gilded age. And the gilded age, for you people who are not familiar with history, is when, like, Rockefeller and Carnegie owned everything and shit got fucked. I think it caused the Great Depression,
Waters told an awful joke. It is that he has built a career saying the most inflammatory and insulting things in the studio. And it is all considered good television, at least on Fox News. What an embarrassment. By the way, Trump White House teams are now raging at FBI Director Kash Patel.
There's growing frustration with the FBI director on a multitude of fronts, and that there have been, we're told, past interventions by folks close to Patel to try to get him to correct course with this White House. He has drawn intense scrutiny over the perceived lavish spending of not only the FBI and the transportation, but also for example, jet ski excursions when he is out on official business. And on Friday, we were told that he was actually set to go out on an official trip to Chicago, where his girlfriend happened to be performing later on that evening. And that on Friday, that trip was promptly canceled, and instead, Kash Patel made his way back to the White House amid this level of scrutiny.
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular is from Move Dragon, who wrote, "The entire regime is..."
All right, everybody's catching on. Everybody's seeing what I've been believing, what I've been telling y'all for a while. Just video after video.
And security official who did serve in the first Trump administration. Most people remember him as the anonymous staffer who published that anonymous op-ed saying that we are leading the resistance from inside the administration itself. He has come out, he does a Substack, and recently he's been writing a lot of things, making these, dire predictions about Donald Trump, many of which, by the way, have come true. And he's out there this week with yet another one. And he's laying bare some secrets about the presidency itself that most people, myself included, didn't know about. What he's warning about this week is the existence of the Presidential Emergency Action Documents, PEAD or PEDS. as it is called.
Hmm.
It is a very real set of documents that basically give the President of the United States unlimited power to do whatever the hell he or she wants to do. These documents would let a president detain dangerous persons without a trial, censor the press, flip an internet kill switch, commandeer social media, or even ground American planes and stop us from traveling. And that's just, as Miles Taylor points out, the tip of the iceberg. These documents would, in a time of crisis, of course, allow the president to become a dictator. Taylor doesn't know if Donald Trump is fully aware of the PEAD documents.
Oh, they know. They fucking know. This is part of the secret part of the Project 2025. Like, Project 2025 was all built up to get to this point. And then when they get to this point, they activate the emergency powers, grounds all planes, cuts the internet, cancels the election, rejects the election results, and here the fuck we are. Dictator, bro.
Or not. But here's the warning that he gives America. What if Trump discovered these emergency powers could be weaponized for purposes beyond actual emergencies? What if someone manufactured a crisis to justify it? The guardrails are gone. Trump is a loser surrounded by losers. His administration has been beaten again and again in federal court. This isn't because judges are out to get him. Rather, it's because his people are incompetent and can't seem to read the law. The same pathetic crowd of has-beens that couldn't pull off a ham-fisted first-term quest to steal an election won't be able to execute a power grab in the second, no matter how much time they've had to prepare. But I won't bet the Republic on their drooling incompetence. No matter what happens, our ultimate backstop must be to make these elections too big to rig. I'll say it again and again in the months to come. That means no matter what barriers they throw in our way, Americans will be registered to vote. They will show up at the polls. So I do like the fact that Taylor points out what I've always pointed out as well, which is, yeah, Trump could easily become a dictator if they follow, the what's in these PEAD documents. But they're all very, 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 very dumb. And I don't say that as an insult.
See, no, he's very fucking dumb. He's old. He's senile. But the people around him who want to use him as the figurehead to keep their fucking racist, bigoted, misogynistic fucking agenda going, those people, they know what the fuck they're doing. The people Vought, the people behind Project 2025, they know about the PEDs. They know what it's gonna take. They know how to ground all the fucking planes. Like, they know they have unbridled power when they declare a national emergency. Whether that was the test was the tariffs. They're like, all right, how long can we get the tariffs going? I think they was like 6 months the tariffs were going.
Say that as a statement of fact.
Like, if they declare a national emergency, say for voter foreign involvement in the elections, cancel or reject the election results, and then take control from there, and then have us go fight through the courts, which they've been doing. It's like, okay, then they have power for 6 months. They have unbridled power for 6 months. And they're like, we will just wait you out. We will use the fucking court as our shield.
These are all stupid people. A lot of them uneducated. The rest of them very low IQ or suffering from some sort of, brain parasite at one point in their lives, or, fried their brains with drugs over the years or alcohol. So we don't really have a ton to worry about, except for the fact that even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. And that's the problem. Donald Trump is attempting to manufacture crises. We've seen it. Right? He did it this week in his Thursday address. He did it with Iran. He did it with Venezuela. He did it with the tariffs. Like, this is an economic emergency, so I'm activating my emergency powers. He's already done some of these things. So, doing more, getting crazier with it, especially for a guy who very clearly is suffering from dementia, as many experts tell us, I don't think we've seen the last of it. And unfortunately, I don't think we've seen the worst of it either. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget, tune in every weekday at 9 a.m. Central.
Okay. What's this? AI? What is this little guy? You use AI, bro? Wait. You use AI for your videos? Whoa, bro. Alright, we can't watch that. We can't watch AI.
How you gonna pay for that when you want to give people healthcare, or how you gonna pay for that when you want to give people good schools? It's pretty crazy to be sending our money over there when it could be used over here.
So no funding to ensure the survival or future of the Jewish state.
Well, I turn that back around on you, Alex, and say, why is it our responsibility to ensure that?
I'm just asking because I think
no, I mean, but why is it? Why is it
understanding?
I think but hear me out. Why is that the essential frame from which we work? Like, why is it assumed that the United States ought to be in the business of backstopping a foreign government? Like, I'm just saying, like, I don't want ill will for Jewish Israeli people at all. I really don't. I just want equal rights to peace, dignity, and self-determination for all people. But the notion that somehow our tax dollars ought to secure the interests of a foreign government, like, this is the United States and our own kids don't have good schools, and you're telling me that that should be a primary concern over there? Like, imagine we said the same thing about any other country, any other one. Like, my family's from Egypt, right? Like, would...
It's a great point. It's a great point. Imagine saying it about any other fucking country.
Killed it.
Imagine saying it about, like,
killed
the
it.
UAE or...
For real. We're sending how much money are we? Did they decide? How much is going to Israel in the latest budget requests? In the latest U.S. budget request and appropriation bill for fiscal year 2027, they are designated $3.3 billion for military assistance for Israel. $3.3 billion. Imagine if we used $3.3 billion to protect Texas from flooding. That would go a little bit, right?
I don't know.
We'd use a little bit of that money for Texas. Why not?
Gotta ensure the survival of the Uzbeks. And if you don't agree, then you must hate them. You must be Uzbekophobic. Wow. What a disgrace. What a piece of shit you are. Like, what? Your average person will be like, what? My taxpayer money? I like the people of Uzbek, but I'm not trying to, give them half my fucking paycheck here.
Gavin, tell me why the people of Wales do not deserve a sovereign nation. The Welsh people have endured enough under the British crown. Under the boot of the British crown.
So true. Shout out to the Welsh. I like some Welsh rarebit. It's a good dish.
Crazy if somebody was asking me, like, hey, do you think Egypt has the right to exist? People would be like, Egypt exists. I'm like, well, if somebody wanted to change the nature of Egypt, do you think the United States should be spending all of its money to make sure, or any of its money to make sure that happens? People are like, I don't know, that seems like a different country's issue. But, like, I'm just saying that, like, you can both say that Israel exists, but it doesn't have a right to my tax dollars. And it is not our responsibility as American taxpayers to take money away from kids who don't have good schools and give it to a country to buy bombs and tanks. Like, the idea that our conversation even questions that is itself a big question we should be asking. Like, why is this the frame of the debate?
I think AIPAC.
Yeah, good what stuff. An answer, right? What an answer. And we're going to contrast that to a slightly more wobbly answer from Mcconnel when he gets pressed in a similar fashion with Jeremy Scahill and Ryan.
Bro, I was so disappointed in Mcconnell's answer. I was like, yo, what's going on? And I think maybe because Mcconnell's playing for the big house, he wants to be in the White House. Maybe he does it. Maybe he does it. I would vote for Ro Khanna as president for sure. I say that, but then yeah, him not deciding like for real. Like let's just use all the money that we're sending to Israel. Let's use it to help the floods, to help stop flooding, or help protect the towns of Texas from the floods. Let's use the money we're sending to Israel to help protect the towns and businesses in Texas from the floods. If we're not gonna do anything about climate change, we're gonna see more floods. We're gonna see more wildfires. We're gonna see more hurricanes, tornadoes. We're gonna see more snowstorms. All that shit's gonna be more extreme, more frequent. If that's the case, then we need to prepare our cities, our towns, our businesses to weather those storms. And we need money to do that. So, how about we use the money that we're sending to Israel, stop that, keep the money here, invest in protecting our cities, our towns, our businesses from floods, tornadoes, hurricanes, all the natural disasters. Let's do that. How about that? I feel like Republicans and conservatives should be able to get behind that. I feel like, and Democrat, everybody should be able to get behind that. Like, we cut off U.S. aid, but we're still funding a foreign country. How does that work? Okay, I don't know.
And Grim have a lot of thoughts on that, so everyone make sure to smash the like button and stay tuned because we're going to segue into that next. But yeah, I mean, just what confidence being projected here. So many candidates, they just start shitting their pants as soon as it comes time to say something even remotely controversial about Israel. They start shitting their pants and getting afraid when it comes time to question the nature of our special relationship with our special ally, like they're freaking, a special needs kid in the classroom that you have to protect and shelter, right? Oh, there's our special ally. You can't say anything mean about him. He's like what?
That's how Gavin talks to people with Down syndrome.
Yeah, Israel rides the freaking short bus. And no, but seriously, like he just projects real confidence here, and he doesn't seem afraid to give this answer. He's not afraid to push back on the framing of the question and say, well, what are we talking about here? And I really appreciate that because I think it cuts through the bullshit, and more people, public opinion will continue to turn on Israel the more they hear that framing disputed, and they're like, wait, why is Israel our special ally, quote unquote? Why are they our freaking, special needs friend? What's going on here? Like, why are we giving so much money, so much attention? Why are we sacrificing our reputation on the world stage and in the international community to protect this freaking rogue state, this genocidal rogue state?
Oh, yeah. I think what it comes down to is confidence on the issue, right? This is what he believes. He knows the party is with him. He knows the people of Michigan are with him. And so he can come out here and confidently say what we all know is true, right? We are draining our tax dollars, which we cannot afford, and we are sending them abroad to a place that has nothing to do with us, right? We have absolutely no reason to be taking care of this country that's thousands of miles away, that's in a part of the world where frankly, we have no business investing that kind of resources, right? As a country that can't give its people health care, that can't pay for people to go to community colleges in wide scopes, right? That we've got people, defaulting in mass and credit card debt domestically, right? They can't afford groceries, they can't afford gasoline, right? Yet, but for some reason, the conversation for what a United States senator should support is about taking care of, coddling another nation. No, fuck that. He comes out here and says, I'm a United States senator. I'm here to represent the people of Michigan. Part of representing the people of Michigan is making sure our tax dollars stay here. We don't piss them away somewhere else. He was like, I'm from Egypt. When I become a United States senator, I'm not going to start advocating that we send more money to Egypt. That would be ridiculous, right? So I'm not going to advocate that we send any money to Israel or any other state.
Yeah, 100%. So let's hear just a little bit more of this exchange before we move on. But yeah, I thought this was a real strong interview from Dr. El Sayed.
Affiliated super PACs have spent about $15 million so far to defeat you. 30. Okay, I'm 30. Wrong. Sorry, updated stats. And your opponent, Haley Stevens, is their preferred candidate. You've called her a sort of Trojan horse for the pro-Israel agenda. You've accused her of failing the moral Rorschach test by not calling what's happening in Gaza, the atrocities, a genocide. Here's my question. There's only one Democrat that's going to win this. If she wins, are you going to campaign for her?
I'm going to make sure that Mike Rogers never sees the inside of the U.S. Senate. But like, here
So
lies
that's
the
yes?
important question. Here
Is that
lies
a
the
yes?
important question. I'm going to campaign against Mike Rogers for sure. And look, I've already said that like I'm committed to making sure Democrats win and Republicans lose.
Do you want her campaigning for you if you're the nominee?
But here's the bigger question. I want to go back to this point that you made because it's just a really, really important one. You rightly pointed to the reason why the frame of the debate is always about the theoretical right to exist of a country and where we put our money. Because if you say what I just said, which I think the vast majority of Americans, I'd be like, yeah, that's just conventional wisdom that we should be more worried about people in our own country than the existence of another country. If you say what I said,
dead ass, like that's why everybody's like, yeah, cut. Oh fuck, bitch. When Elon Musk cut U.S. aid, yeah, $40 billion. Let's cut it. Waste, fraud, and abuse. $40 billion. Waste, fraud, and abuse. Cut it. Chainsaw. All that from that stupid motherfucker, right? But we still fund Israel. And hindsight 2020, thousands of people are dying because of those cuts. Countries that actually need it. The Dominican Republic of Congo, DRC, has an Ebola outbreak. We're not allowing U.S. citizens to return from the Dominican Republic of Congo because of an Ebola outbreak. Clinics closed worldwide. Was it measles outbreaks? Like, there are lives that have been lost because of our cuts to U.S. To foreign aid, but we still fund Israel. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
there is one super PAC that's going to spend tens of millions of dollars to annihilate your political existence. I mean, that's why most politicians sit in this political consensus that says that you cannot touch the third rail of Israel. Meanwhile, people in their own communities are like, why not when my own kid goes to a school that looks like it did 50 years ago? And so that exactly is it, is that you have a particular super PAC that has become the biggest spender in our whole race, $30 million, to try to put my head on a pike to show every Democrat that
And that's just crazy. Again, imagine if there was like the Muslim PAC, or like the Palestine PAC, or whatever, that was dumping like $30 million into his campaign. Of course, that would be an issue. That would be a huge controversy. I'm sure his opponents would also point it out and be like, what the hell's going on here? But no one bats an eye when fucking AIPAC dumps $30 million into this race against him in the state of Michigan, where I think 1% of the population is even Jewish and like 3% of the population is Muslim. Like, what's going on here? That's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, what if we had RPAC, right? American Russians for political action committees, right? And what if the Kremlin was pumping in millions and millions and millions of dollars to elect anybody who is going to make sure that they cut off aid to Ukraine, and who's going to make sure that the United States, reduces any sanctions towards Russia, make sure that, oh, hey, we're allowing them to make money off of these different pipelines, whatever it is that's of the Russian, interest, right? We would say that's absolutely absurd. This is foreign election interference. This is absolutely unacceptable. How could you possibly vote for a candidate that's willing to take that filthy blood money? That's what we would be saying. Democrat, Republican, Independent, wouldn't matter. Gavin and I would be out here for your fucking nuts. We'd have you on a silver platter, right? We'd be like, fuck you, this is absolutely unacceptable, right? But the fact that it became so normalized for so long for Israel to be able to massively influence these elections, it's given them a false sense of confidence, right? And now they have to spend and spend and spend and spend and spend to try and maintain this clutch on power. And I think a guy like Dr. Said is going to be the first one that really shows like, hey, you can spend as much as you want, $30 million, $40 million. We are going to beat you because the American public is so far away from what you're promoting right now.
Yep, 100%. So hopefully he does away with, Haley Stevens and her goofy ass Looney Tunes fucking voice. And then we get to see her use that voice to help campaign for him, as apparently, is being teased. That'd be pretty funny to see her out at a rally using that fake voice to hype up the crowd for Abdul.
And that may be in his back pocket why he came out and said, hey guys, don't be mean to her, don't make fun of her voice, right? I disagree with that. Gavin and I covered that earlier. We disagree with the pearl clutching and the finger wagging at your own supporters, because it's going to be used against you. You're just validating a bunch of the bogus Bernie bro criticism that was applied to your campaign for no reason. However, If it is because he knows he's going to be able to oust her in the primary, and he knows or it believes that it will be effective for him to have her campaigning on his behalf, being like, no, this guy's a normal Democrat. Like, no, you don't have to be afraid of him after she's, said a bunch of really insane things about him and the PAC has run a bunch of insane ads about him, right? If they can coalesce together and he can be like, no, see, Haley Stevens fucks with me, Mallory McMorrow, they're all uniting behind me. Look, we're all campaigning together. I do think that makes it easier for him to get the Senate seat, and that's all that'll really matter. So if that happens and that this was what it took to salvage their relationship, I guess I'll be able to see where he was coming from. But to be honest, I don't think he needs either of them. I think he's going to be able to win this thing on his own.
Yeah, I don't really think he needs either of them either. I think part of his appeal is that he's an outsider. I don't necessarily know if appearing next to frickin' Haley Stevens or Mallory McMorrow on stage would increase the reach he has or the amounts of votes he can get. If anything, it could prevent more independent voters.
I think he has the independence.
Yeah, no, I know, I agree. I'm just saying, like, I don't think that if he wants to expand his outreach, I don't think that appearing next to Haley Stevens would help with that. Just because, again, his appeal is as an outsider. It's kind of like when back in the day, this is ancient fucking history, but Andrew Gillum, in Florida, after winning the Democratic nomination, he decided to do rallies with Hillary Clinton, and it was like, why are you doing that, bro? Like, Hillary Clinton is extremely unpopular. You're way more exciting a candidate. You're way better a candidate, and it's gonna decrease your ability to get independents and potentially even Republican leading voters to support you if they associate you with somebody like Hillary Clinton. Now, who knows if he would have won that election had he not campaigned with Hillary, but I do remember a lot of people making that point, and I think a similar point can be made here, although ultimately I don't think it would hurt him that much if he did, and it could help him. So it's a debate to be had.
Yeah, the reason I disagree with that is because Hillary Clinton wasn't a Florida politician that had just run in a primary against Andrew Gillum, and if it is a close finish, right, and Haley Stevens is able to pull like 39% of the vote, like, yeah, I do think he needs that if he's going to win in the general election. So he's opening himself up to that suburban Democratic base that I guarantee you has been primed with a bunch of propaganda that he's a misogynist, that has been primed with a bunch of propaganda like, oh, he hates Israel, he hates Jewish people, he hates whatever, and he's going to need those people to vote for him in November. So he should not, for any reason, change his policy. He should not, for any reason, move to the right in rhetoric or anything like that at all. But I don't think it's actually a terrible idea for Haley Stevens and Mallory McMorrow to have to go around Michigan and say, no, we were just kidding when we said he was a super big misogynist. No, we were just kidding when we said all those bad things about him. He really needs to be the guy to get the job done. So I don't think he has to move 1 inch on any of his rhetoric, but I do disagree that it wouldn't be helpful to him to have them going around the country and basically pampering the suburban vote that is a liberal that's going to be a little bit more skeptical of the guy, that they were just spending millions and millions of dollars manipulating to think that he was a bad guy.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying, but it's also like you've been going around calling her a puppet of AIPAC and a mouthpiece of Israel. It's like, why would you even want that person on your team? If they're a puppet of fucking Israel and AIPAC, which she is. And it also kind of reminds me of the Tallarico Crockett situation. Like, Tallarico hasn't been doing any fucking rallies with Crockett, doesn't seem to be hurting him, and he might have made the correct calculation that it would have hurt him to associate with her and to be seen on the debate stage next to Jasmine Crockett, who's so toxic. So maybe Haley Stevens has a higher approval rating with moderates and independents in Michigan than Jasmine Crockett does with moderates and independents in Texas. But still, I think it's worth thinking about. Is it a smart idea, or can he just pull it off without them? Which I think he probably can. But ultimately, if he does lose, I don't think it's because he condemned his supporters for making fun of Haley Stevens. I don't think that's going to end up being that big of a issue. I think if you look at Zohran Mamdani, he also condemned Hassan's 9/11 comments on the debate stage. Didn't really hurt him, even though it was unnecessary for him to do that.
Totally. Last thing I would say is just that if there is a place for that, campaigning from the liberals that were trying to take out Syed's momentum, it would be the people that just delivered the Senate victory to Alyssa Slotkin. You know what I mean? There is a weird base like that in Michigan that I think will, that does exist, would be willing to vote blue, but is currently falling for all of the insane propaganda against Abdul El Sayed. And so I'm just hoping that when the dust settles, they'll be okay, no, it's actually all about blue Michigan. And so seeing those
media buys, they fucking matter. They fucking matter.
Those people walk back the nasty things that they said, I think might move the needle. But by and large, I think you're correct. He doesn't need them, and he could win without them.
Yeah, obviously it also remains to be seen how close it is, because you're right. If it's like 49 to 51 or something, then yeah, probably a good idea to join those coalitions and unite. But if he convincingly stomps her, then I think again, he's the guy. He doesn't need her fucking help. He's dispatched with her, right? In the same way that I wouldn't say that Graham Plattner or Troy Jackson or whatever should go around campaigning with Janet Mills necessarily. Although I think she is uniquely unpopular. Again, I don't know if Haley Stevens is what her approval rating is in Michigan. Maybe it is higher than it is over here in the Vanguard community.
Yeah, for sure. And I've just seen enough neck and neck polling that I would be, I'd be interested in seeing how that would play out.
100%. No, I think that's definitely true.
All right, y'all. I am done for the night. Good night. Thank you for coming in. Thank you, Peter McKinn the Fourth. Thank you, brother. Love you. I will see y'all tomorrow too. See what happens. They do like to do things over the weekend, so maybe we'll have some more to talk about. Unfortunately, it won't be good. Have a good night.